You see the tweet from the guy who was like looking for a private fire department to protect our homes?
Yeah.
And the left attacked him for
really
it.
wild. Yeah.
I'm like, who cares if a guy asks for a private service? Why is that a problem?
I replied to that person. I was like, you're the crab that pulls the other crab down back into the bucket. That's the exact,
which person?
The person that was complaining about it. Someone had taken a screen cap of the tweet, and they were like, "Can you believe this?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, you're the crab that pulls the other crabs down.
But of course, I mean, this is how it used to be, right? There used to be private fire insurance companies, and so if you go around in old areas like in Philadelphia, the old houses that are there from colonial times, you can see on the side of buildings there'll be like stars or whatever, like old stars or different patterns, and those were put there by the fire insurance companies so that the fire insurance company would know if that was a house that they had insured and were contracted to protect. So, I mean, we could go back to something like that for sure, where everybody has their own fire department. You know, I mean, I get this guy who would pay whatever it takes to protect
If
his
it were
home.
private, it'd be run more efficiently. You can imagine that. There are places in the country that have private ambulatory services. Like if you go to Brooklyn, the Jewish community there, and it's that what they have done to provide service to their needs, to their community, is so much faster and so much quicker than a government ambulance could show up. They have a truck and it's there in seconds sometimes.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
it sure is.
Pretty incredible.
I would want to maintain a socialized fire department as well as private. If you want to go private, because I'm concerned with like private companies being like, hey, you don't have insurance, or arson, like literally them starting fires so that you have to buy their service.
It's like
for profit.
Ryan Long's sketch where he and Danny were Antifa window repair, where in the middle of the night they just like Antifa and smash windows, and the next day show up to fix them.
Well, this is the Monty Python sketch. You know, it's a great country you have here. It'd be a shame if something would have happened.
You should definitely be able to supplement whatever you want for your community.
Yeah. Private.
I mean, I got to be honest, like, when the insurance companies started pulling out of California, it was the perfect opportunity for a venture capitalist to launch a private fire department and be like, yo, we'll bring in a bunch of emergency, like, you know, what you want for fighting the fires is water, obviously. But I would guarantee you people would love some chemical flame retardants right now.
Well,
anything to put the fire out.
Yeah, that's another thing too, and that's something that the government could be doing. You know, even while they're pursuing their dumb environmental things, is they could be working to reduce the ignitability of the structures, reduce the amount of hazardous fuels, like by clearing out the brush and things like that. But also just the way that homes are built. You know, like keep the brush away from your home, keep the fences, you know, not quite so close together. There's a lot of things that you could do, but people don't want to change how they live either. You know, people want everything.
I think, I'm excited if they look. The disaster is a disaster, but outside of that, the politics. The argument was being made that Trump only has about 18 months to get his agenda through because
then it's the midterms.
Once we get to the midterms,
we have a very short runway.
Right. The squishy Republicans are all of a sudden going to back off and say, I can't do anything weird.
And there's such a thin majority.
But with Anna Kasparian tweeting like this, I'm kind of like, just let the Democrats keep talking. And the midterms are going to be smooth sailing for the Republicans.
I don't think it's going to be nearly right now. I think it's not going to be the bloodbath that the mainstream media wants to tell you. It's going to be in 26. The rate that we're going, bold leadership is needed for this country, and people are fed up with it. They are so fed up with what's going on. They don't like it. That's why they're leaving California. They're moving to South Carolina, by the way. My district's like the number 10 fastest growing district in the country. They're all coming from like New York and California, Ohio, Northeast. But they're moving out of there at such a high rate. It's insane.
I mean, you look at people like Fetterman, the way that he's been
very smart. He's the smartest Democrat on the Hill right now.
Yeah, and then there's also people like Richie Torres, who's
he's doing a good job.
Yeah, and but
his messaging
exactly. That's the point that I'm making. He's addressing the things that have caused Democrats the problems, which is not focusing on things that the average person worries about. This is something that I've said on the show before. Like, the left loves to talk about centering the margins, right? The marginalized people we have to center. We have to center the marginalized people. If you do that long enough, then people stop voting for you because you need a majority in a democracy to win elections.
Well,
their problem is they only have two. They have one in the House who speaks a little common sense and one in the Senate. Everyone else is off the rails. Totally off the rails, which benefits us.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's so happy to center minority voices and, you know, all of this, whatever else, diversity, this and that, until it's impacting their own
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.